Yo, what's going on, guys? So this video is a long time coming. I did my absolute best to rush my build as quickly as I possibly could without spending any money, but we're basically almost done. All we need left is the Burkant's daggers to come out, and our build is complete. But this is going to be a build video for the ultimate PVE bow and daggers. But before we jump into that, I just want to remind you guys, we are doing that 1K sub giveaway. We didn't hit it last week, but let's hit it this week. We are less than 10 away, and the quicker we get there, the quicker we get to give back to you guys. So make sure you guys drop a sub, leave a comment, leave a like. It is absolutely free. But let's jump straight into it. So first things first, there are a few pieces of gear that clearly are not best in slot. I'm not about to drop a down payment for a house for them. Neither should you. There are other good options for gear in the game that are, I'm pretty sure I did the math out, as like 2% less, and it costs like 2% of the value. So, but first things first, as you guys can see, I don't have the Burkant's daggers, but this will be the Burkant's daggers, the exact same traits. We have the Arc of Lunar Radiancy with hit chance, attack speed, heavy attack chance. The Crown Skull of Victory. The Howling Wind Shroud. A 2-piece Vanquisher, Chosen Vanquisher set. A 2-piece Void set. We have the Death Knell Gorget. The Bracelet of Violent Undertow. The Ring of Celestial Light. The Band of Ancestors' Blood. And the Hero's Legacy Warbelt. Now, if you guys have a shit ton of money to spend on the game, or just a lot of Lucent in general, some suggestions I would say is the Chosen Vanquisher set. Now, this is not the best in slot, but this will be the next in slot. It's not bad. As you can see, damage, skill damage over time by 20%. It's pretty good. However, I would change these two out for the Imperial set. But if you know anything about that, they cost an arm and a leg. Now for these, I think 3 accessories. The rings are fine. The 3 accessories. Basically, best in slot comes from Nebula PvP events, and if you know anything about that, they literally cost thousands upon thousands of Lucent. For me, I don't really feel like spending that much money. It seems like a waste, so the next, obviously, in slot are going to be these 3. I do recommend, though, that you, even if you have the money to get it, I really wouldn't get the better accessories. They're just really not worth it. Now, in terms of skills, we're not going to go too much in depth into it, just because it would take up 20 minutes just to go in detail. However, I did change up a few skills from my last build video from the tier 1s, and this is the best rotation that I have found out. And yes, you basically rotate through the order that it's in, for those who asked from the last video. And we took out, I believe, throwing knives. We added Fatal Stigma and Brutal Arrow. I mean, there's a few things that we changed up. Also, considering the fact that they nerfed Deadly Marker just a wee bit, I wouldn't worry too much about running Blitz. It's just not worth it. Now, in terms of specializations, again, I'm not going to go too much into it because we can go all day into the reasons of why I run something, the reasons why I don't run something. But if you want to pause the video, basically at any point, honestly, just to copy it down, this is what I run for the daggers, and then this is what I run for the bow. It's a little bit tricky. There are a few things that I would like to run, but the reason why I guess I don't specifically is because, well, it's, if we're gonna be min-maxing, this is basically the best way you can go about it. But that's gonna do it for skills. Now, in terms of mastery, it's really complicated now. However, I'm gonna give you some very good, I guess I would say, capstones to go for, basically immediately. The first one for the dagger is going to be this Primal Strike. Base damage increases by 150%. Now, with the Wicked Thorns, I'm basically hitting anywhere from 1,000 to 2,000, depending if I get a 2x per light attack. And with all the gear and everything combined, getting a like 142% attack speed with doing basically like 2000 like for a base attack. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. The next one I would say is strategic exchange. The damage of a user's poison and thundercloud stacks increases by 40%. This is just increasing based on all the poison that you'll have on, all the thundercloud that you'll have on, basically just increasing your entire damage by 40%. And then finally going to be this one paired with this one. So this Bloodseeker's capstone basically decreases the amount of crit damage you do, but every time you do a crit, you get 5% health. But if you stack it with this, as long as you have 80 dex, which you will with this build, you get 8% crit damage. So the 5%, the negative 5%, I should say, plus the 8%, you have a positive 3% crit damage, but you're also healing every time you crit. Now, the bow is a little bit more simple, I would say. There really is only one that kind of goes crazy, and that's going to be this one, the rapid fire stance. As long as you're staying stationary, you get increased attack speed, and this is basically how you get above 100%. I think naturally, with if you're in your whirlpool and you're basically have all your gear, you're sitting at, I want to say 100 and like, what is it, like 120%, but that's depending on how many people are in the whirlpool. But say it's just you yourself, you have 100, I think it's 104%. Plus this, you get 128, and then whirlpool, whatever else it is in there. I don't really remember the math of it. Either way, this one right here is going to increase your attack speed like nobody's business. Again, if you guys want to pause the video, copy this down. I spent way too long mathing these different skill trees out, so I highly recommend you take a look at it. Now, in terms of artifacts, this gets real tricky in terms of the substats. However, I would just say use whatever substats you want. The RNG on it is too great. I'm pretty sure I did the math out, and I think it's like a 1 in 12,000 chance to get the like all the right ones that you need. It's a ridiculous amount. But I highly recommend for DPS you run the Chaos Harbinger set. I hope I pronounced that correctly, which is just increasing your crit chance and your crit damage by an absolute ridiculous amount. It's really good. Again, if you see the substats, like, you can try to go for best in slot, but it's extraordinarily difficult. Like for the Talus Stone 2, I'm trying to go for triple evasion, and as you can see, I'm only able to get 2. It's so ridiculously hard, but just go with what you prefer. It doesn't really matter at the end of the day. These are just extra bonuses, but definitely go for the Chaos. It definitely helps with DPS. Now, if you guys watched my Rune video from last week, you'll already know what I run for runes. However, just in case you haven't ran it, for your weapons, you're going to run skill damage boost, mana efficiency cost, melee evasion. I personally like melee evasion. There's way more melee damage types in the game. You got swords, spears, daggers. Like, I think it's 4 to 2 compared to other classes, so that's why I like to run melee evasion. Same thing for each of them. As it goes for the accessories, boss heavy attack chance, either melee evasion or melee endurance. Some of them do not come with melee evasion, unfortunately, so I just run melee endurance. And then Amatoi healing. The reason why I run Amatoi healing is because basically it's going to be the best way to get self-healing. Obviously, if you have a healer, you can put in healing received. However, who knows? I personally haven't had too many good experiences with good healers constantly healing, so that's why I put the burden on my own back. And Amatoi healing, I think you can get upwards of 204%. At least that's what Questlog GG says. So if it does 250 or whatever it is, yeah, 200, you can get upwards of like 700, 800 healing per Amatoi heal every 6 seconds. So that's pretty good. So I'm gonna link the quest log build in the video description so you guys have an easier time figuring out what pieces you need and all the different items and accessories that you can add to the build. Now, again, I know that there are better in slot things. However, again, if you compare this to what you can do, I think this build maybe costs like 20,000. The best in slot costs like close to 300,000. However, this is only doing 2% less. Pretty sure, honestly, this does do a little bit better attack speed. Does do a little less damage because there's certain things, again, that add to the damage. But I would just say this is going to be the best for basically everyone, whoever wants to do a bow dagger build. Right now, I don't even have the Burkhan's daggers, and I'm placing anywhere from like 20 to like 35 for world bosses. And the moment I get Burkhan's, I probably will basically top out at 15, if not go into the top 10 pretty regularly. So I highly recommend you guys go check out the build if you guys are interested. And if you guys have any questions, please let me know in the comments. I will answer all of them. There's way too much to go into, and if I went into everything, it would be a 40-minute video, and I don't think you guys want that. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. This was a long time coming. I tried to do my absolute best to rush to get basically everything I needed. I also had to change some things around, whether that be skills, whether that be gear, whether that be just anything. I tried to figure out the best possible outcome for bow and dagger users, because again, this is I would say the most underrated class in the game. Don't get me wrong, I'm not blind to see that there are better, but bow and daggers is definitely underrated. Once we get the Burkhan's daggers, I think we'll be able to wholeheartedly compete with mage bows. So I'm very excited. Comes out this Thursday. I'm ready. I've been waiting a month for Burkhan's daggers. But again, let me know in the comments what you guys think. And a final reminder, if we don't hit it by this video, make sure to drop a sub, leave a comment, leave a like. We are doing that 1K sub giveaway, and it is absolutely free. But other than that, that is all I have for you guys. So I hope each and every one of you guys has a wonderful, wonderful day. And as always, take care. And I'll talk to you guys later.